Yes, people, welcome back to Fight with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Gaia, back again with another preview of One Fighter Fights 135. But before I do that, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's been a bit of a slow week. We know we haven't had that much to do this week. UFC doesn't have a fight card this week and then this weekend. And we only have the One Fighter Fights to look forward to, at least for us here at Fighting with Friends. But yes, people, please, like I said earlier, just drop a like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It does really help us up so much. I have to formally apologize just a little bit for, being a little bit quiet towards the end of the year. It is the final push for us. We do have, I think I'm not mistaken, we've got 2 more weeks left of fight content to come out before we go into our end of year break, before we, come back again next year. So yeah, I just wanted to apologize for the time that it's been a little bit quiet this time. But I'm still here, and we are still going to give some previews. So yeah, let's sit back and relax and enjoy the breakdown, where I will give not only my analysis of these fights, but I'm also going to give you my picks. I'll bring them up on screen at the end of the show when I recap my thoughts on this fight card. But okay, as always, we will start at the top of the card. Let's bring it up on screen. We have, like I said, One Fighter Fights 135, which will be live the 28th of November, 2:30 South African time on YouTube. And as always, we also will be live for a nice watch along of this fight card. Same time, same place as always, where we expect to see all you guys out there that's been following our channel in the chat. Looking forward to it, guys. Looking forward to it. But okay, what do I think about this fight card? Absolutely amazing. I think there's quite a few debut fighters on the undercard. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with those fights, but the ones on the main card, I'm going to be breaking down each one of those fights. So let's get straight into it, where we see in the main event, Worapon taking on Julio Lobo from Brazil. Bantamweight Muay Thai, fun fight. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to be honest with you. Lobo, I'm not too sure what to make of the guy. But before I give you my thoughts on this one, let me go through some numbers and statistics of the two fighters before I give you my X's and O's. We have, I don't have my water with me today. Worapon, 23 years old. The record in one championship is 6 wins, 4 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO, 4-fight win streak, and he beat Kongklai by first round TKO in his last fight. Julio Lobo, 31 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 2 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, and he lost to Kulap Dam by first round TKO in his last fight. Gotta be honest, for Worapon, it's been quite a stellar year for him. 2025, he's gone on a 4-fight win streak, pretty much just being really powerful and evolution in his game. Because when he was losing fights, look, he's only 23 years old, right? So he was losing fights when he was a bit younger. But since the 2025 began, the guy's literally pulled out. He's packed on some good muscle. And also he's fighting with an intention of, I'm not going to lose fights, right? If you think about the performances against Sonasen, for example, brilliant performances against Sonasen, beating Ilyas Musayev, who also lost last week, Kongklai. I'm quite impressed with that. I'd like to see him have a run back with Anta Kasim. But before we get there, we're going to have to get through Lobo first. And I also think that beating someone like Lobo will take him to a 5-fight win streak, but also edge him that much closer to a contract. I think he's a fighter that definitely deserves a contract come the end of 2025, in my opinion, because you can't go on a 5-fight win streak in 1 year and not get a reward for that. I mean, I know he's been getting bonuses, but I think he deserves a contract if he ends the year on such a big high. Julio Lobo, on the other hand, the reason why I say I'm not too sure what to make of this guy is because when I do see him fight, I think, okay, this is the time he's going to show us what he's all about, right? How good his boxing really is, his range, his aggression. But I've seen after the 3 fights I've watched him fight in one championship, I've seen enough to know that he's not going to make it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because he's not defensively sound, right? As much as you can have all this power punching and this reach over a lot of the guys in the bantamweight division, right? It means absolutely nothing if you can't actually let that power and speed translate or carry over into the fight. And why I'm saying that is because he's so offense heavy that he doesn't have defense, period. Right? You can go look at the fights. Noticeable one was against Kulap Dam, his last one, right? Even against Super Bowl as well, where you would press forward on Kulap Dam, but get counted every single time and get caught And you don't want to get caught by someone like Kulabdam. Even if Kulabdam is countering you or one going forward, you just don't want to get hit by someone like that. And Lobo in that fight, up for the remainder of that round, at first round he only had the one round, right? He was so aggressive because he was taller. He's the taller fighter. He was so aggressive, but he wouldn't keep the hands up. He would just get in there and try and swing and like get into a brawl. He would try to ignite those brawling moments, right? But with the wrong opponent, and he was getting caught all the time. In fact, he was very much missing the mark with a lot of his shots, and I thought that was a bit disappointing. And if you look at his football fight as well, same thing there. He was just basically out of range every single time, getting counted all the time. Bad defense, taking shots. Worapon is the kind of fighter where he's also got some elite power. He doesn't really get a lot of knockouts, right? But what he does is he breaks opponents down over 3 rounds. And usually after round 2 and after the first round, when you get to round 2 and 3 with Worapon, he revs up that engine. He just starts to unload so much more combinations. And another thing about Worapon as well is that he looks stronger when the rounds go on. Like he doesn't look tired. It's almost like now he's warmed up and I've got the first 3 months under my belt. Now I'm actually in the red line zone. I'm heated. I'm like, I can actually go now and stay there for 3 rounds. And he does it so well. And another thing he does extremely well is he eliminates space. And Lobo being the taller guy, he's gonna want to be on that outside and fight mid-range because he's got the longer limbs. Right? He's gonna want to be there. I don't know if Warapon's going to allow that to happen. I think Warapon's going to be able to do what he does to a lot of guys. If you think about the fights against Sondersen, right? Tall fighter in comparison to Worapon. Now, what Worapon did really well in those 3 fights was, even though he lost 1 of the 3, is that he eliminated the space. He knew Sondersen's going to be a heavy kickboxing style fighter, like on the outside, heavy, light on the feet, lots of movement, lots of strange angled uppercuts and weapons coming from different angles, but lots of lateral movement. And Worapon realized if he fights mid-range or outside range the whole time in that fight, he's going to get pieced up every single round. So what he did really well was he eliminated the space and he kept the fight in the clinch position all the time, bashing out elbows, hard shots to the body. He does this thing where whether you're backing him up or he's backing you up, what he does really well is he's got such a aggressive pressure game where he moves forward like this. And he just puts his hands out like that. Now, I don't like that kind of weaponry because I feel a good solid boxer can just check hook that cleanly, and you don't have your defense because you're basically creating like sort of moments where what I'm looking for here. You're basically overrunning the nervous system of the fighter by making him think about, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do? Because his hands are coming out and he's progressing forward like this the whole time, and then bang elbow into a clinch. But he does that so well, and then he stays there. He stays in that moment, and if you break away from the clinch, he literally just walks forward again, doing the exact same thing. And then what I notice about him, I don't agree with this for Worapon. What I did notice about him is that when he's doing that thing with putting his hands out to sort of grab your wrists, and what happens if fighters tend to like bring their wrists back and throw an overhand or hook or whatever the case may be, Worapon will almost duck his head into his elbow or to his armpit. So he will do that. He will put his head in between like this. So then what happens if you strike in to go over the top, you're most likely going to hit his shoulder and it's going to slide off. You're not actually going to catch his chin or his face cleanly. And that's largely why Sondersen wasn't able to land anything on him. And that's why I feel Julio Lobo, who's primarily a boxing heavy fighter, I don't think he's going to get that much success. I just don't think he's going to get that much success in that kind of moment. So I give it to Worapon. I think Warapon's going to be able to do what he does to a lot of fighters this year. And that's just have such a heavy pressure game. The fighters just walk through that pressure and they fold to his offense. And then, he's getting a W with he's doing it by unanimous decision. Or he's going to TKO you. You're going to get dropped somewhere or another. He's just that good of a fighter right now. And I'm saying this because I've watched the progression from Worapon. I've watched how he's leveled up his game throughout this year because he's been fighting so frequently. And you're like, okay, I'm seeing the significant changes to his style. Very impressive stuff. And I think he's going to get the job done here. And maybe if he gets it in very good fashion, he could get that bonus or he could even get that contract. But give me your thoughts in the comment section. Please chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. In the interim, I'm going to keep moving to the next one. Let's fucking go. It's so stupid. But okay, co-main event is going to be a fun one again. Bantamweight Muay Thai as the main event. We have Kongklai. Can't wait to see him fight again, taking on Kendu Irving. Interesting matchup actually. Very interesting matchup. Let me give you some numbers first. Kongklai, 27 years old, record in one championship is 4 wins, 6 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 3 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, and he beat Ferrari by third round KO. He's lost by Ferrari's kind of done. He's I don't know where he's at this stage in his career. It's a little bit strange since getting banned from substance enhancement and then coming back and then looking like a skeleton version of himself. It's just not the same. Kendu Irving, on the other hand, 25 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, 2-fight losing streak, and he lost to John Wayne Noy, Tyson Harrison by first round TKO in the last fight. And that's what you get. That's what you kind of get him, Kendu Irving. He's that kind of guy, which is interesting because he's actually one of the taller guys of the division. I think he's 6 foot or 5'11" or something like that, which is a good height for bantamweight division, right? For the 145-pound division, it's a decent size. It's kind of like lightweight energy. But then when I watch him fight, I just see someone that he's got a good skill set, but he's not top tier. He's not even middle tier for me. He's just outside of that middle tier. The reason being is because it looks like he's made of glass. Right? He's got good defense. I mean, he's got good stance defense for the most part. Like he keeps his guard up. When he gets into boxing exchanges, he tends to put his hands there, but he gets caught anyway. And if fighters land on him, whether it's over the top or to the body, the reaction I see from Irving is that he gets dropped every time, or it hurts him almost immediately. And okay, it's a fight game, I get that, but we've watched a lot of fights in one championship, right? And we see a lot of knockouts, and we also see a lot of fighters take shots. Right? I just spoke about Worapon, and I was able to actually go toe-to-toe with some of the best strikers and take those shots at 23 years old. Okay, he's built different. That's another thing as well. But for Kendu Irving, what I noticed for him, when he's doing his best work is when he's the one that's able to maintain and manage distance management, right? So if you watch his fights, light on the feet, guard high, lots of boxing, sharp, straight shots. Not a lot of looping stuff comes from Kendu Irving. A lot of straight shots. Okay, 5'11", so I thought he was 6 foot, but he's 5'11". Like lots of straight shots down the pipe. His only 2 wins came against Miao Aki and Yui Tsuda from Japan. Like those fights, they were arguably smaller than him. Both those guys were smaller than him. Arguably, they were smaller than him. Right? When he took on a sort of level up in competition, who aren't even contacted fighters, by the way, Avatar and Tyson Harrison, right, who are also just outside of the middle tier. If you think about all the different tier levels of the fighters. Right, when he fought against the 2 of them, they were able to take him to score. Right, they put the pressure on him. They were more durable on him, so they could take his shots. And then when they landed on him, he just couldn't recover from them. Kongklai has also got that ability to put your lights out. He's very powerful bantamweight. Also nice and tall in the division. Comes from a very good gym. He's 5'8". Nicely built, so he's going to be the shorter fighter between them. But I think Kongklai has got the power, in my opinion, and the style also to put Kendu Irving in problems. Kendu Irving doesn't want to be in a clinch, right? We saw the way when you saw the way Tyson Harrison fought against Kendu Irving, Tyson Harrison immediately walked him down, got straight into his face, and didn't fight on the outside, and just started getting into boxing exchanges. Bam, bam, bam. We're going to stay here, and you were second best. Avatar did the exact same thing. Avatar closed the distance, also a shorter fighter, closed the distance immediately on Kendu Irving, didn't allow him to fight on the outside, put him on the back foot, put him in some elbow situations, put him in some clinching situations, things he doesn't like, things that make him comfortable. And Kongklai loves the clinch. He loves fighting up close. Even though he also has good range, right? He can be on the outside, but if you think about Kongklai, when he has fought on the outside, right, he hasn't really been successful there. Antakasim pieced him up on the outside. Otis Wagon pieced him up on the outside. Panrit also, who's shorter than him, pieced him up on the outside. Sana Sen, another example. These are all kickboxing heavy fighters. Super Bowl, also a Linktree fighter, pieced him up on the outside. Right? The way he beat Ferrari, the way he beat Dennis Demi Kapoor, the way he beat Silvio Vitez was getting in their face, getting up very close, making it an ugly brawl, using lots of elbows and body shots, and just creating situations where it's favorable to him. And I feel like that's the style that Kendu Irving does not deal well with, and that's why I'm favoring Kongklai. Granted, Kendo Irving can also put the pace on him and stay boxing from the outside and use that speed advantage he does have. He is going to be faster than Kongklai. I just don't know if the sort of if he's what's going to happen to Kendo Irving when he does get caught from Kongklai. What happens when he can't anymore put that pace and pressure on, and Kongklai is able to actually just walk him down and land on him. What happens then? Because every time someone is able to land on Kendo Irving, the response was never great. The guy goes down. So I'm going to favor Kongklai with the power. I think Kendo Irving's got height and speed, but that's kind of his best weapons, really. And he's primarily boxing heavy, not a lot of high kicks or low kicks. Doesn't target specific weapons like targets for me, for example. I don't see him chopping the outside calf. I don't see him throwing some good tips to eliminate the opponent's stamina. Right? What I see from Irving is I just want to box fast with you. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to be bouncing, pump faking a lot, and then throwing 1-2s just to get you out of there. With Kongklai, he's more of like a Worapon style, where it's like, I'm going to stand here and box with you, throw some jabs, but I'm going to keep walking into distance. Eventually, when I'm in that distance, now I'm going to unload. When I say in distance, I mean it's basically clinching distances. He closes the mid-range. He gets pretty close into in-fighting. That's when he puts the hurt on you, and I think that's the kind of stuff that Kendo Irving hates. So I've got Kongklai for the win here, boys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section while I keep it moving. Let's go. I'm gonna keep the FWF parlay on screen for you guys. I'm gonna still send these picks to AD so you can put them in, lock them in fast, and then I'll let you guys know the odds and our stake for this fight, for this parlay. But I'll do that also. I'll release that on the live watch along. But okay, next fight, Flyweight Muay Thai. Two young cats going up against each other. We have Isanua taking on Panpadesh. This is actually the fight on the fight card that's split down the middle for me. Pick 'em. Even Stevens all the way. Hard to choose here. And it took me a moment. It took me like a couple of moments to rethink about this one so very, very, very extensively, because you can see on screen I got Panpadesh in the parlay. We haven't locked this parlay in just yet. I'm going to lock it in a little bit later when our line opens up on our side. I'm still hesitant on that one just because it's a pick 'em fight for me. But I had to choose one, right? Because if I didn't put this pick in, we just would have had a 3-legger. And I kind of feel like the picks, like Worapon, Kongklai, and Nayan, those are favorites. So it won't really give us the best odds. So I thought, okay, let me add Panpadesh in there. And I think it's a pick 'em, so it's not going to really do much to the odds either, but it will add a little bit more. But okay, let me give you some numbers on this fight before I actually give you the X's and O's and why I say it's such a difficult fight to pick. Isanua, 22 years old. Record 1 championship is 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 contest, 2 wins by KO. He beat Focus by second round KO in his last fight. Beautiful chick left hook. Panpadesh on the other end, 24 years old. His record 1 championship is 2 wins. Why don't I have his full thing? Hold on. He's got 3 wins, 0 losses, 0 contest. There we go. 3-fight win streak, 2 wins by KO. That's why I messed it up there. 2 wins by KO. And he beat Pet Putpa by second round KO in his last fight. Beautiful KO finish. Who do I think is going to win here? It was a right hand KO, by the way. Off the back foot. Very beautiful stuff. So who do I think is going to win here? They have similar styles, actually. Very similar styles. The only contrast between the two of them, in my opinion, is that Isanua is a little bit more on the front foot. Like he doesn't really like being on the back foot. He's more the front foot kind of fighter. Slightly has the advantage in terms of volume and a little bit of arm reach. But they are the same height, but the arm reach for Isanua is a little bit more. Panpadesh is a little bit more methodical between the two guys on the shorter side, but he does have the durability over Isanua. I think Panpadesh can take a shot. Isanua, I've seen him get cracked before, and I'm like, he doesn't take the shot very well. Panpadesh takes the shot really well. He's got fantastic defense, and I also feel like Panpadesh has a better shot selection. That's because of his methodical nature. Right? He's not going to go in there like Isanua and put the pace on you. Both guys aren't bouncing heavy on their feet a lot, but they both of them have a very good job at managing their distance. Isanua is a little bit more active, So whether they're on the mid-range, he'll be blasting a little bit more kicks because he's got that little slight reach advantage. So he'll blast a little bit more kicks than Pradesh. And also you'll jab on the outside. And then when he gets in, obviously you look for those hooks to come. Pradesh, on the other hand, he's high guard, bit more methodical, walks the pressure down, and he loves to attack the body first before he comes out on the top. And I think that's the kind of weapon choices for me that will separate the two fighters. So for Isanua, for him, it's like you got the reach advantage, right? So you don't actually have to get in close. For him, I'm going to start piecing you up. I'm going to blast a lot of high kicks, right? Force you to defend those high kicks, which is also going to basically predict the dart forward from Pradesh, which is what he loves to do. Jump in, body shot, headshot, right? So for Isanua, for him, he's going to have to utilize a lot of high kicks and body kicks to set up that dart from Pradesh, at which point he could then predict that counter shot, which is one of his hooks, right? For Pradesh, don't do the dart in until you know Isanua is against the ropes. So for me, Pradesh, lots of hard low kicks, lots of body shots, keep walking forward. Isanua doesn't have a very good back foot counter striking game plan. That's not what he's good at. If you can put him in that position, you're going to be able to make him then you can make basically Isanua become more predictable because he doesn't have very good defense going backwards. It's a very even fight in my opinion. I think Pradesh's durability is going to carry him over. The fact that he keeps a high guard when he walks forward, he's going to make sure that he's safe at most parts and can always time that entry based off of what Isanua does, which will obviously be the kicks from the outside first. Right, so I think Pradesh is going to high guard, low kick, walk forward. Eventually, when he gets back into the ropes, you in boxing range, you start the body shots first. And don't rush for KOs early. Body shots first. Let him condition him. Make sure Isanua brings that guard down as the round progresses, or at least the fight progresses, and then you can start attacking that head. It's a very interesting fight, but I do feel that the skill set a little bit more, I don't want to say high level, but a little bit more trained, has a little bit more depth to the fight style from Pradesh over Isanua, which is a big thing to say because Isanua, since his induction to into one championship, I've been impressed with the performances. Even though he lost 2 fights, I've seen enough to know that this kid has got something special here, and over time he can become a very formidable opponent for a lot of guys, right? And also of the taller fighters in the flyweight division. But I just think Pradesh, being such a durable and methodical, dangerous striker, an accurate fucking striker, I think that's what's going to carry him over in this fight. So I've got Pradesh for the win. Slight advantage. Just, it's a very much a pick 'em fight for me, guys. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Please chat. Let me know in the comments. Give me your picks for this fight card so we can get that banter going. This is going to be a fun one. I can't wait. In the meantime, I'm going to keep it moving. All right. So this next one, we have atomweight Muay Thai, where Nayan Yoshinari is the current atomweight Muay Thai champion. I think he's going to have it belt for quite some time, unless we see Sandro Bossi take him on as early as next year. I think that could be a fight that could be big to keep with Nayan Yoshinari. But up next, atomweight Muay Thai, we have Nayan Mohammed, one of the Pitch brothers. I think he might be Pitch 3. He's taking on Nittikorn, another young fighter coming out of JP Power. I'm not too familiar with the gym, but I've seen the name before. But let me give you some numbers in this fight. So Nayan Mohammed is 17 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO. He beat Adam by second round TKO in his last fight. Nittikorn, on the other hand, is 22 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He lost to Kongklai by unanimous decision in his last fight. I don't know what to make of this one, to be honest with you. I'm happy to see Nayan back. I thought he did a very good job against Adam in his last fight, especially since Adam beat him. There was split decision before that. Very close fight between the two young guys. Nayan Mohammed, I think he's got the aggression, he's got the good coaching team, he's got a fantastic gym he's coming out of. A very good fight style. It's highly aggressive. It's also a fight style that closes the distance a lot and stays on the inside, attacks you with elbows, high pressure game, lots of body shots. I would say the kind of shot selection from Nayan Mohammed and also the other Pitch brothers are telling me that they are going to be a problem for a lot of the divisions that they're fighting in as they get older, because they've got this way of not just headhunting and looking for a brawl, looking to get that bonus or highlight little finish. they were very selective in how they actually do it. They break you down very systematically. Lots of low kicks, lots of body shots first before they actually go for the punches to the head. Nittikorn, on the other hand, for me, is a safe kind of fighter. He doesn't really pack that heavy punching power. I don't even know what his primary source of fight style really is, because of the two fights that I've watched him in, it was up and down for me. You know, the one that he had against Chuck Pitchett, that was earlier this year, February 14th. And he won that fight by unanimous decision, but he won that fight because he was on the front foot for most of the time, and he was, dictating the pace and landed a lot of the strikes on the front foot. But couldn't put his fighter away. He fought Kong Worapon, he's decent. He's not really the greatest. He's not really someone that I'll rave about, but he's a decent fighter. And then he was the one that was on the back foot in that fight, and Kong Worapon had to put the pressure on him the whole time. And I realized in that fight, when you put Nittikorn on the back foot, he doesn't have very good defensive setups to get back into the fight where he can be the one leading the dance again. And Nayan Mohammed is such a high, aggressive pace kind of fighter that it doesn't give you time to actually be composed in your defense, because he's always doing something to you. He's always doing something to you all the time. There's no time for you to go to kind of get yourself relaxed and composed, because there's no time of we're gonna look at the distance, we're gonna look at the movement, we're gonna do some feints to see what's good. None of that. Nayan doesn't do that. Nayan doesn't give you time to create those setups. He eliminates that opportunity completely. He's just on you all the time, forcing you to give him targets. And that for me is a nightmare for someone like Nittikorn. And that's why I've got Nayan Mohammed. He's not on our parlay. Only reason why I say that, because he's only 17 years old. Adam was able to land big stuff on him and drop him. You know what I mean? He's taking on an older fighter in Nittikorn who's got 4 years on him. So for me, that's like, it's slightly, it's not big red flags, but it's concerns that I can't really ignore. You know what I mean? If Adam was able to drop him, I don't know what it would be like if he takes a shot from someone that's a little bit older, and a little bit heavier. That's my only concern. And also Nayan is so aggressive that he also abandons defense. And those are the things for me that are concerning in this fight, which is why he's not on our parlay. But he's definitely someone I pick to win the fight. But I'm not willing to put money down on it. I'll tell you that much. But okay, give me your thoughts in the chat, please. I'd love to get your opinions on that one while I keep it moving to the next bout on the card. Okay, up next, we have bantamweight Muay Thai. A lot of bantamweight Muay Thai fights on this fight card, by the way. Suksawat taking on Guyasit. Bantamweight Muay Thai. I think this is going to be a fun fight. Pardon me. Excuse me. Let me give you some numbers, guys. Suksawat is 25 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contests. That's actually not a very good record, I'm not going to lie. He lost to Kongklai by unanimous decision in his last fight. Guyasit is 27 years old. His record in one championship is 0 losses, 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He lost to Jamil Osmanov, which is Ubrus Osmanov's younger brother. Second round KO in that fight. And he actually won the first round, by the way, against a guy that was twice his size. He actually won the first round. And this is why I'm also picking Guyasit, spoiler, because I saw enough in that first round to say, okay, there's some good weapons here. Very competent fight style. It's just that he fought someone that was just too big and too strong for him. So who do I think is going to win here? Suksawat on the other hand, a little bit underwhelming. He's a little bit tall for the division, 5'9", 5'10". He lost to Kongklai and Pandit. Pandit was able to liver shot him and put him down very easily. And I think Pandit is a hit and a miss in my opinion. Pandit is he's either very good on the night or he's just getting KO'd when he's going up against top tier guys. And also to lose to Kongklai, who is also a very well trained athlete, fantastic fighter, but also hasn't really reached the heights of elite level fighting. Suksawat can sometimes give up too many rounds because of not necessarily putting on the pace too much. Sometimes he gives up the space and prepares to fight on the back foot. And I always feel as a fighter, if you're going to be comfortable in taking up the back foot and be on an counter striking, you're going to have to be sharp all the fucking time. Because what you're doing is you are knowingly giving your opponent the distance to say, okay, you come attack me, right? And you need to be prepared to do that. Like you have to be defensively sound. Your shots have to be very precise because you're on the back foot. You can't be on the back foot and start swinging and get into a brawl. You can't do that, in my opinion, because you have nowhere to go. You're back footing. So an opponent that's chasing you down doesn't have to engage in that. They can just keep pressuring you with a lot of outside weapons, long-range weapons, until they see you give them the opportunity to go, all right, I see you want to be counter-striking. That means I can actually time your counters. I can feint and bring out the counter. I can half measure my shots and not actually go full commitment, which will force you to throw a counter. And then I can just counter you. You know what I mean? So I always find that back foot counter-striking is such a dangerous tool to use. And if you get it right, you are on a different level. Right? Not many fighters are able to get that right. Suksawat is one of those guys that doesn't always get that right. If I'm able to put you on the back foot and land a liver shot and put you away, I'm like, yay. Then I'm not too hyped up on your style. And Guyasit, what I saw against Usmanov in that first round was someone that's got good weapon choices, someone that can attack from different angles, right, and utilize that pressure in such a good way. Right, he got KO'd because he got into a brawl with someone that was taller and more powerful than he was, and he was always off second place when it came to that brawl. This fight, not so much. Guyasit's the taller fighter here between the two of them. He has the range, right? I don't think he's got the better arm range, reach, excuse me, but he's got the height advantage, and the way that he strikes is high volume, high pace, puts you on the back foot a lot. I don't know if Suksawat's going to be able to counter that. Also, good gyms going up against each other here. We've got PK Senchai and Singa Mawin. That's really good gyms going up against each other as well. I've got Guyasit, because I find him to be the fighter that's got a style that is high volume, good distance management, lots of pressure. And Suksawat being the counter striker fighter, you would think that this is like geared to him, but I don't think so. Actually, I think he's going to get caught a lot. And Guyasit just mustn't create a sort of brawl moment. He mustn't get drawn into a brawl exchange, because then I think he'll get caught there. But if he fights the way he fought that first round against Shamil Usmanov, you know, very, very much lots of volume, lots of pressure, staying out of the way, keeping your guard up, and just staying active in all the moments of the round, I think he can win the fight. If he can bag 2 rounds like that, he can take the knockdown in the third round if it does happen. But I think if he can bag 2 rounds in such significant fashion, I give him the win there, guys. But I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments, please. Let's go. Okay. Up next, we have women's atomweight Muay Thai fight between Tang Tang taking on Nong Am. We have the old versus the new. And I'm going to say this now. Don't be surprised to see Nong Am lose this fight, right? I actually got Tang. Let me give you some numbers. Tang is 21 years old. So record in one championship is 4 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contests, 4 fight win streak, beating Cynthia Flores by unanimous decision last fight. And that fight, I found it more impressive than any other wins. Even though Cynthia Flores is not like, she's not Nong Am, right? But Cynthia Flores has got a fighting style that can be an issue for anybody, any woman, just because of it's like a Mexican boxing, relentless fireball kind of fight style, right? There's lots of pressure, and you need to be basically alert throughout the fight, because if you don't, she's going to catch you with something, right? And she did catch Tang a few times. I actually thought she might have lost the fight, but they gave it to Tang anyway. Nong Am, on the other hand, has been like out for quite some time, made a return back, was successful in the return, but I actually argue that the return fight was a layup for her. It's like, we need you back, or since you're coming back, let's give you something like a tune-up fight, you know what I mean? Just to remind people who you actually are, because Nong Am has been around the block, right? 30 years old. Her record in one championship is 6 wins, 1 loss. 1 loss? Yeah. 16 wins, 1 loss. 6 wins, 1 loss. 0 no contest. Yeah, that's it. 2 wins by KO, and like I said, she beat Esther Viola by unanimous decision in the last fight. And also, Nong Am is a heavy power puncher. She's not high volume, right? And she's got very good durability. And fighters like that, for me, they're like the PTT kind of fighter. You know, they got power in their hands, not a lot of volume. They look for hard, heavy shots to land on you. They don't really take the best. They don't have the best defense, which means you can actually land on them a lot because they believe in their durability. And for me, that's the kind of fighter that is actually nicely laid up for someone like Tang, who is high volume, lots of movement. Right? If you think about the fight between Tang Tang and Cynthia Flores was attacking, and moving a lot and attacking in high volume. And Tang Tang, for the most part of that fight, was able to actually just stay away from it and move with her and be like, okay, let's go, let's dance. I'm gonna tag you every time you come in. And she was doing that the whole time. And one of the fights, because she was smooth on the counter, she was very, very clean every time she did land something, which was quite frequent, by the way, because Cynthia was allowing it. Cynthia was giving the targets to her. Nong Am, on the other hand, has got good pressure, but she's not going to put a lot of volume like Cynthia does on you. So we're going to have a little bit of a you go, I go in this fight. And then it all comes down to which one of the two is going to be like, all right, now I'm going to take control of the fight here. Instead of going, you go, I go, you go. And if it's a you go, I go kind of fight game, then I'll favor Nong Am because she's got the power. If we're going to fight the fight, we'll be throwing 2 punches at most, a 2-punch combination at most. I'm going to favor Nong Am. She's got the power. She may even have the reach as well, right? So I'm going to give it to her if it's going to be that kind of fight. But if Tang Tang stays on the bike and she keeps moving around laterally, throwing out some kicks and punches, whenever Nong Am comes in to throw some heavy bombs in her, literally just duck under, move out of the way, get out of there, reverse the position. Now you've got the geography on your side. A lot of the times I've seen fighters, when someone's pressuring them and they're going to start throwing a combination of them and they're waiting for it to happen, then when someone starts to go and starts letting the combinations move, the fighter that's getting backed up stays there, and then they just start defending, and then get caught. Right? I like a fighter that moves, that gets the fuck away. If someone's putting heavy pressure on me, and I can't land my tips or my high kicks, and I see they're getting super aggressive with it, like Nong Am does. Right? I'm not moving in the backwards line. I'm moving left to right, my guy. I'm getting out of there. I'm cutting angles. I'm throwing out jabs or 1-2s, cutting an angle. I'm not staying in the same position. I'm not going back in straight lines. Not doing that. That's not going to help Tang Tang. And Tang Tang does move left and right. She does have lateral movement, good counter striking as well. So I think she's going to out-volume Nong Am. She uses that same game plan she used against Cynthia Flores. I think she gets the job done there. So I've got Tang Tang for the win. Only because Nong Am, she's been out too long, in my opinion. Her first fight back was a big, big layup for her. Now she's facing someone that has got a good win streak, someone that's been on good form throughout 2025. I think it's going to be a difficult fight for Nong Am. She's going to have a hard time actually catching and landing on Tang Tang because Tang Tang's win. It's going to go to the third round. I don't see a finish in this fight. It's going to go all the way. But I do find that when we get to the third round, that's when Nong Am will most likely land her bigger shots on Tang Tang because Nong Am will slow down quite significantly there. But I got her for the win by unanimous decision, Tang Tang. Let's go! Okay, so up next we have Lam Nang Lek taking on Javier Gálvez from Spain. This is going to be a fun one. Bantamweight kickboxing. Interesting. I actually, now that I see it's kickboxing, I'm a little bit concerned for Lam Nang Lek. He's on our parlay. I thought it was Muay Thai, but now I see it's kickboxing. It changes a lot for me. Yeah, that is I still think he wins, but that makes me feel a little bit more slightly doubtful about it. Lam Nang Lek, 27 years old, record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss in a contest. He fought against only Kong Suk, beat him and lost him by unanimous decision. Javier is 24 years old. This is making his one championship debut. His last fight, he beat Carlo De Dois by first round TKO in that last fight. That was, I think, a body shot, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, what are we going to get here? I think Javier is a very good boxer, primarily boxing heavy kind of fighter, even though this is going to be kickboxing. But I got Lam Nang Lek for the win. So Lam Nang Lek's a former RWS champion. Pardon me, very much got speed heavy fight. I think this is going to be a step up in weight class, if I'm not mistaken. I think he is actually a flyweight naturally. I don't think he's actually a bantamweight fighter. Correct me if I'm wrong in that one in the comments, please. But he is going up against someone, he does have a fight style that I really, really enjoy. It's confident, right? It's speedy. I think he's got fantastic left straights, left hooks, good left-sided attacks as well. His right hand has got a very sharp jab when he comes in, throws the left, steps back, throws a high kick. Very good at very good at throwing out those low calf kicks as well. Love the body kick on Lam Nang Lek, and I think this best attribute for me is the high volume and the consistency of that high volume, right? He doesn't slow down that much. He stays on the front foot. Even going backwards, he also cuts left to right movements as well. And I like the volume that he does. His choices of weapons at different ranges are very high level IQ of fighting. The way when he throws body kicks at different the ranges, he does in such a way that you can't really attack him back when he throws it. That you can't time it and say, okay, now I'm gonna jump on you. It's just he's so difficult to get him into those ranges. Now I'd love to see Lamine fight more frequently because I want to see what else he can actually do. But of the two fights against a very game opponent in Kongsuk, right, who also is top tier, just don't see enough of him anymore. Lamine was able to game plan against him, especially after losing the first fight in a very close contestant one. Second one, he won out and out. He won all 3 rounds, in my opinion. And that's why I'm going to give him the win here because he's got championship level. I think he's fantastic with the striking. The fact that he doesn't have elbows in this fight is a concern, but also he doesn't really utilize elbows that much in Muay Thai anyway. Right? He's more of a outside inside fighter. There's no mid range. So when the outside is body kicks, low kicks, body kicks, straight left, and then you'll dart forward with a straight left, maybe the knee, maybe a body shot, right, when he gets in close. But that's pretty much where he fights at range. And when on the outside, you also throw high kicks to keep you occupied on the defense as well. Lamine for me has got more weapons of choices here. I'd say it lightly because I haven't really seen Javier Gálvez fight frequently. Not too familiar with the young man either. But it's so difficult not to bet on Lamine. He's such a good guy. He's such a very good fighter, though. It's hard to not pick him to win fights unless he's going up against top tier bantamweight fighters. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think he's of the smaller bantamweight division guys. I think he's better off at flyweight. But give me your thoughts in the comments, please, chat. I'd love to get your thoughts on that one. Okay, so this next couple of fights is quite a few debut fighters, so I don't really have that much notes on this one. I know Tim Koch, if I'm saying his name correctly, from Ireland, is 25 years old, won championship debut. He beat Stephen O'Neill by unanimous decision in his last fight, capturing the Irish ISKA Thai boxing title. That was 67 kgs. If my memory serves me well, the weight class for featherweight is 70 kgs. In one championship, so yeah, makes sense that this is his weight class. Champion, let's see what he's all about. I don't know anything about Nayan Futoi, 25 years old, one championship debut. Couldn't really find much information on him. I think he might have been fighting in RWS as well. But yeah, let's see what happens here on this one, guys. If you have any opinions on these next couple of fights, give me your thoughts in the comments. As a belief, please. Olivia Dabrowski taking on Wang Si Ching, atomweight women's kickboxing champion, boxing fight. Again, 2 debutants, not too sure what the buzz is there, but I'm excited to see what the fight is going to look like. We have Silachai taking on Kojiro Shiba, who's undefeated at the moment in one championship, 2 wins, 0 losses, strawweight kickboxing. That's going to be a fun one as well, especially when we need to see more movement in the strawweight kickboxing division for JDB, so you can have more contenders to take on. So I'm keen to see it, and I think Shiba's probably going to get the job done there. And then the beginning of the fight card, we have 2 MMA fights. We have Chayan Orshak from Mongolia taking on Amran Satif from Qatar, flyweight MMA. And then Nazareth Lal Tazula taking on Zuala, taking on Masaki Suzuki, strawweight MMA. Give me your thoughts, chat. That is my time. That's my breakdown. So now, let me just quickly... You see on screen, that is our parlay. We're going to go with that parlay for Friday tomorrow. Let me just recapture some of the picks. I'll bring it up on screen so you can see it right now. PG's picks on screen. Worapon for the win. I think he's going to be too strong for Lobo. Kongklai beating Kendo Irving because Kendo Irving always gets tagged. Panpadesh beating Asenua. Difficult fight to pick. It's a very much a split down the middle kind of fight, so I'm not too sure exactly. I'm confident that Panpadesh is going to win, but it could go either way. Nayan over Nittikorn. I think you'll get Nittikorn out of that. I think the aggression and the constant pressure is going to make it difficult for Nittikorn to get any sort of offense off. Guyasit versus Suksawat. I think Guyasit is the sharper striker and got more volume, where Suksawat is a little bit slower and always on the back foot. So I got Guyasit for the fight, for the win. He's also the taller fighter there. Tang beating Nong Am. I think she's got the high momentum, 4-fight win streak, undefeated in 2025. High volume, fantastic movement, doesn't really get hit that much. Long arm, too little volume, relies on power, long layoff, had a layup in the last fight. Too many cons over pros. Tang more pros than cons. I think she wins the fight. Lamna Munlek, I just did my preview on that one. I think he's the superior fighter, former champion. I think he's got a good level on him. I'm impressed with his fight style. I think he gets the job done over Javier. And then, like I said, now Kojiro Shiba, 2-fight win streak, fantastic kickboxer. He's gonna take it to 3-0, climb the rankings, and maybe get the opportunity against the GOAT in JDB. But okay, chat or people watching, please drop a like, share, and subscribe as always to our channel. We are growing. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the fight card. Give me your picks as well. If you feel so inclined, let's get the banter going. I like to compare notes between myself and the guys that are in the chat as always. But you can expect myself and AD tomorrow when we go live for this fight card at 2:30 South African time. But on that note, for myself and the Fighting with Friends team, have yourself a fantastic day, and I will catch you on the next one, everybody. Cheers.